Hi, hello there. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan. I also go by Momo. I'm an artist, illustrator, graphic designer, theater maker, and this month's vlog is kind of all over the place. I always kind of feel like my vlogs are a little messy, but I was recently watching a video from Kristen at Little Tiny Egg. If you don't follow her, you should. Her stuff is really good. But she was talking about how she feels like her videos are always chaotic, and she says that at the beginning of every video and this and that. And she showed a video that she was working on to a friend of hers, and her friend said, oh, it's like a collage, like this video collage. And that one comment just kind of like switched her perspective on how she makes her vlogs. And I have been thinking about that ever since then in regards to how I view the videos that I put together. And it's broadened my perspective on how I need to look at the way in which I make videos. Just so I'm not getting like Virgo perfectionist about every single vlog that I put out here, because that's not necessary. I'm a human. I can make something messy. It's okay. So I offer that perspective to you as you watch this vlog or any other vlog that I put out. It should be kind of like a slice of life, like mishmash of life as an artist. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for being here. Catch you later.
I signed up to be a vendor at a mini market for a local business called Early to Bed, which is an adult toy store. And I decided that I was going to make some new zines about reproductive health care that would include an illustration hidden in the zine. So if you unfold the whole thing, you get this pretty print of this bouquet.
So I haven't been really great about filming this, but I started making these little fabric embroidered ornaments. So I'm in the process of cutting them out to finish off these three. So what I'm going to do next is add a piece of yarn to hang it from, and then secure this top layer with a top stitch around here. But this is what the fabric back looks like. It's just a bunch of scrap pieces that I sandwiched between a couple of water-soluble pieces of paper, and then put it to my sewing machine and zigzagged and the heck out of it. This is what I'm currently working on, and then these leftover muslin scraps from the embroideries are going to go into my new scrap pile and eventually become a new fabric panel for other ornaments. Hey, are you here for moral support? Okay, thank you. I love you. Well, I was going to continue with this little guy, and then, my needle broke. If I was looking for a sign that I shouldn't be working on these right now and I need to take a break, I think this is it.
In September, I directed a staged reading of a new play called Calvaria, a play for feral girls that my theater company, Babes with Blades Theater Company, was developing over the last year as the winner of our Joining Sword and Pen playwriting competition. We host a festival called Fighting Words Festival every other year to present these staged readings to the public, and this was the weekend leading up to the festival this year. And that's all the footage that I got. I didn't take any other video. If you've seen any of my videos from the previous months, then you might recognize this as working on my mini artwork project. I'm working on 100 mini pieces over the course of the year, and these are some of the ones that I made in September. I had a page in my ugly sketchbook here of just different kinds of flowers, testing out different looks and aesthetics, and mostly how these flowers look with my Pentel brush pen, and then I applied it to these mini pieces for the month. At the end of August, I decided that I wanted to start the Artist's Way workbook, just to kind of recalibrate and refresh my artistic and creative practice. So this is footage from my very first artist date, and if you want to know more about that, there's an exclusive video on my Patreon that dives into the whole thing. I have been baking so much bread lately. I found a really simple recipe on Instagram, and I've just been going gangbusters. It's only 4 ingredients. Plus, I started making whipped coffee again. And I'm not sure why every time I'm making a vlog, I'm also watching one of Fran's vlogs. So here she is. After diving back into collage after the piece that I made last month for my mini art project, I decided I wanted to do it again, but I got the itch to weave all of the paper, so it turned into this cool little woven piece that's a little lopsided, but that just gives it character. I ain't mad about it. My partner and I celebrated our 16-year anniversary in September, and so for the past 5 anniversaries, I've been making illustrations of us to mark the occasion, and so this year I decided that I was going to use the grid technique, which I did not film at all. I didn't even film the watercolor portion of this process. So what you're seeing here is me putting on the final touches with colored pencil, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And my partner loves it too. And there she is. And speaking of our anniversary, we went and saw Lady Gaga's Mayhem Ball, and it was incredible! We managed to get floor seats, which I still can't believe I can't believe we sat here. I mean, look at this. Look at how close we were. That skull is not solid. It's inflatable. Can you believe that? It's incredible. 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 You can see how close we were to like the end of the runway of her stage. Like this is where we were. We were just so close. We were so close. I'm just I'm glitching out. Oh, Gaga. So as you can see, there's this watercolor palette to the right of the screen there, and that's my big watercolor palette. It's just a plate that I found at a thrift store for $3, and it works great, but I've kind of been misusing it in that I'm leaving paint on it and letting it dry, and then whenever I try to use it, the paints all mix together and get really muddied, and then I get frustrated with myself that I'm not using this properly. So my plan here was to use all of the paint instead of wasting it, putting it in various sketchbooks and on different pieces of paper, and basically designating these as starting points for future projects. Like if I'm jonesing to make something but I don't know what, I can go back to this part of my sketchbook or this piece of paper with the paint on it and see just what inspiration might come out of that and make a piece out of that. My intention with this palette going forward is to essentially just be more intentional with how I use it, like how much paint I put on it, making sure that I'm not using every single color in my paint box, but to be thoughtful about what I need for whatever piece I'm working on at the time so that the paints don't get muddied or old or, or go to waste, which I really want to avoid. So fingers crossed, I will be able to commit to this going forward. I can do it. I can do it.
So as you can see, ended up using all of the paint, which, mission accomplished. Yay. The only paint that kind of got left over were these two. And I ended up making one more spread in my sketchbook with it. But I also had a big glob of each of them, so I transferred them over into this little palette. However, I don't have a pan for the blue, so it's just gonna live in the well for right now. But overall, very successful morning.
So September is my birth month. Hey, Virgos. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had a birthday party in a really long time. So I decided last minute that I was going to throw a karaoke party at a bar that I really like. And this is all the footage that I got. Part of the reason I got into watercolor is because I was having a really stressful time in my life and I stumbled across a watercolor tutorial on YouTube that I found really soothing. And then I just got the itch to learn how to use the paints, and here we are today. Recently, with the state of the world as it is, I find myself getting really stressed out and anxious about everything. So the other day, I decided I was going to look up some watercolor tutorials and just kind of zone out like I did when I first discovered the medium. I stumbled on a video from Shada Campbell, who does a bunch of like watercolor mixed media tutorials, and she did one about this autumnal landscape that I thought was really cute, and so I decided to make my own. And in her version, she has this cute little farmhouse in the middle of the landscape, and I was like, you know what I want though? I want a creepy, spooky Addams Family type mansion in my landscape. So that's what I decided to do, and I hope you enjoy seeing it come together here. the end of the month, my partner and I found out that one of our favorite bands, Vision Video, is potentially possibly breaking up. Maybe they announced that this is going to quite possibly be their very last tour, and so we got tickets to their last Chicago show, and it was incredible. It was absolutely worth being out late on a Wednesday night. If you're looking for a goth punk band to sink your teeth into, I cannot recommend Vision Video enough. For my birthday this year, my sister got me a Sketchpad Pro stand, which is kind of like a drafting board for your iPad. So you can like set it at an angle, either a landscape or portrait. It's got all this arm rest area surrounding it, and it is saving my back. It is keeping me from hunching over my iPad at my desk when I'm illustrating. Woohoo! The illustration that I'm working on here is one that I've been wanting to work on for a while, and it's going to depict a protest with all different kinds of people, different walks of life, basically protesting all of the horrendous stuff that's going on in the world right now. I wanted to base the characters in this piece off of an older piece that I made years ago that I really love. It's the reference photo on my iPad there. And I wanted to revisit these characters and expound upon them and give them new life and some new purpose. So I look forward to showing you more of this piece when it's finished.
Yes, this is why I switched to injection-free weight loss. I was eating healthy, working out every day.
And we've made it to the end of the vlog. If you've come this far, thanks so much for sticking around. And I want to give a shout out to my patrons for their continued support. If you also feel like supporting me, maybe come follow me on Patreon. We got a lot of fun exclusive stuff there. Or maybe just hit subscribe here. And, I'll see you in the next one. Later, Gators.
Mm-hmm.